What you are looking at, folks, is the baby ranch in New Mexico, which was built by Jeffrey Epstein. And it was for a very creepy agenda. Back in 2008, Alan Dershowitz, an attorney for Epstein, defended him in a civil lawsuit. Dershowitz told the Times that he was appalled by Epstein's interest in genetic manipulation, given the Nazis' use of eugenics in the 1930s. Now, why did Epstein create a 26,700 square foot hacienda-style hilltop mansion ranch, the largest private home in Santa Fe County? He actually purchased $600 in bed sheets because he wanted to impregnate a herd of women. In fact, the locals say he regarded the women as cattle. He's been abusing girls in this New Mexico ranch for 27 years. In the early 2000s, Epstein showed a strong interest in improving the human race through genetic engineering and artificial intelligence. Folks, this is a registered sex offender who wanted to seed the entire human race with his DNA. So I also want to cover just something off track a little bit. And that is Ancestry.com. I started to wonder if these companies, what are they doing? Like, why do they want our DNA? It's so strange. So Ancestry.com is a private company that was based out of Lehi, Utah. Now that's interesting. And it was a for-profit company for genealogy. In 1990, Paul Allen and Dan Taggart, Brigham Young graduates, started out as a database. Like, you could just research on a database your ancestries. The same with myfamily.com, launched in 1998. In 2011, Ancestry.com moved to Social Security Death Index. March 2012, it acquired DNA assets from GeneTree. In October 2012, it agreed to be acquired by a private company. Tom Sullivan, and then the CFO is Howard Hochhauser, I think you pronounce that. And then they acquired the ability to do DNA testing through Quest Diagnostics. In 2015, Ancestry partnered with Google, also called Calico, to investigate human heredity and lifespan. So is Epstein part of a bigger genetic conspiracy? I guess that's what we would call it. With this knowledge that Epstein was trying to seed the human race with his own DNA, I decided to ask the cards, what's happening now to this in this New Mexico ranch that was formerly owned, because he's deceased now, by Jeffrey Epstein? There's still people there, and there's still servants. See the apron tied around there? So there are still servants there. There's still workers there. And the Knight of Cups means that there's still a seeding being done. The Knight of Cups, there's still... so did he have frozen sperm there? Did he have frozen sperm? And then we've got next to that the Knight of Swords. So there is still major disruption there, though. Now see the fire in the background and the trying to go undercover, trying to keep it undercover. But the women are battling for their life. And talk about bed sheets. Look what came up in the cards. We're talking about bed sheets. There's women possibly trapped in there, young girls pregnant, he's trying to seed the human race. But it got even creepier. And this is where it creeps me out of my creep zone. Folks, this looks like cloning. I don't know what else to call it. Yeah, there could be twins born. He could be messing around, trying to, manipulate. Who knows how far his research went into this. But if you ask me, this is cloning. So Was Epstein part of a larger, project for the human race? And here's the other thing. If you start to research Epstein and where he had his influence, it's all over, especially in the politicians. But you do know that in 2015, an Israeli newspaper, the Haaretz, reported that Epstein invested in property he invested in Reporty Homeland Security, Carbine, in 2018 and was connected to Israel's defense industry, which was headed by the former Ehud Barak, and they were very close. In fact, Barak stayed at apartments at 301 East 66th Street in Manhattan, owned by Epstein. So when you start to go through the list of people that Epstein was connected to, it gets really creepy. Bill Clinton, George Stephanopoulos, Donald Trump, the list goes on and on, right? Now in 2019, he was awarded the Big Brother Award. Epstein was. This is a negative award. I'm sorry, Ancestry. Ancestry.com was awarded the Big Brother Award for enticing and exploiting people to send in saliva samples. Why do they want them? Why does Ancestry.com, why do they want so much of our DNA? I've never sent mine in for this DNA bank. And so now I'm going to take these cards out and I'm going to ask the cards if there is a larger plot for seeding or changing the DNA of the human race. Is there a larger plot than what Epstein had for seeding the human race? Page of Pentacles, that's the children. And the Hangman means seeing this from a wider perspective. And there you go, the King of Cups, the father figure. We have the father figure, the child. We have the father, the child, the physical child, and then seeing this from even a far different. In other words, it's probably going way farther than just seeding the human race. There's something else involved with this. It goes way beyond that. So this is going to certainly become interesting. I don't know if anyone, with him deceased, who's going to take over these properties. He did a will just days before he passed away. So that's, kind of interesting also. But this is definitely something for people to follow. I mean, what's going to happen to his properties? This is something that people need to pay attention to, and I hope that we do, and I hope that this gets figured out soon. But in the meantime, there's some creepy stuff going on at the baby ranch in New Mexico. That you can be sure of.